So, Donald?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, next we're going to do a roll call. Oh, the reading of mission statement.
Yep!
Get in here, everybody.
You have called the meeting to order, is that right? Okay, thank you. The meeting has been called to order. The mission statement of this club is, the mission of this club shall be to advance the principles and purposes of the Republican Party, to elect Republican candidates to public office, to strengthen the civic welfare of the community, and to engage in a vigorous exchange of ideas supporting Republican values. Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Amy. Please do the roll call.
Okay. Changing hats here. Daniel Mayo.
Here,
David Abraham.
in India.
I'm going to have to move to where I can note who was here and who was not. Okay, Daniel Mayo is here. David is not. Kathy Lally. Not here. Slil Levy. David Kemp. Isaiah Vega. Carol Crone. I know I saw Carol. This is Carol. Arkadiusz Pogozelski.
Yeah.
Did I say that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Arkadiusz Pogozelski.
Perfect.
James Schwartzman, not here. Martha Rowan. Not here. Stephen Weiner. Jim Starhorn, that's me, I'm here. Okay. Martha Rowan's been here twice. Philip Grillo. Stan Norwalk. Ruben Cruz. Joel Solomon. Catherine Donnelly. Greg Tyson. Vic Starsky. Phil McManus. Juan Pagan. Gilles Chow. Gerard Lally. And Emily Tsang. Emily's here? Okay. All right, so this is the roll call. Oh, you want this?
Thank you very much. We're going to do the reading of the minutes, and today's minutes will be read by Ronald. Ronald?
Minutes of the regular meeting of the Central Queens Republican Club held on July 17, 2025 at Grace Lutheran Church, 10315 Union Turnpike, Forest Hills, Queens, 11375. The meeting was called to order at 7:36 p.m. George Marsh led the Pledge of Allegiance. Daniel Mayo read the club's mission statement, did the roll call, and read the minutes of the June 19, 2025 meeting. The minutes was adopted unanimously. Board members in attendance were Daniel Mayo, Arkadiusz Tomaszewski, Joel Solomon, Craig Tyson, Isaiah Vega, Carol Crone. Absent were Jim Strawhorn, Stan Norwalk, James Schwartzman, David Abraham, Salil Levy, Phil Grillo, David Kemp, Martha Rowan, Stephen Weiner, Catherine Donnelly, Vic Starsky, Juan Pagan, Gerard Lally, Kathy Lally, Zil Cow, Emily Zhang, Ruben Cruz, Phil McManus. 14 members and 16 non-members were in attendance. Bank balance was $4,431.06 with 50 paid members. Announcements. New York City Charter Revision Commission voted on July 21st to replace the following 5 proposals on the general election ballot. 1. Fast-track affordable housing process for publicly funded housing. 2. Create an expedited land use review procedure. 3. Create an affordable housing appeals board that could override the City Council land use resolutions. 4. Consolidate and digitize city maps. And 5. Change municipal elections to even-numbered years. Stan Norwalk has offered free Mets tickets for the August 2nd afternoon game against the San Francisco Giants.
I went. I was one took the ticket.
Nice. Was it fun? The main speaker of the evening was Lawrence Bivak on politics. Lauren explained that our society runs on the scientific method based on trial and error, keeping what works. Leftist Democrats, however, believe in vision from the future. An example he cited was Obamacare. It was supposed to cut the cost of a typical family health insurance premium by $2,500 per year. It did not. Another was sex education in schools to reduce teen pregnancy. No one apologized for its failure, yet sex education is now universal. Global warming changed to global climate change, so it could not be semantically wrong to cover either direction. Lawrence cited his leprechaun theory. How can anyone prove it's wrong? Left-wing visions are not falsifiable, not subject to scientific method, never wrong. Other leftist visions include open borders, transgender policy, not into winning any war, anything but oil, energy, and government regulations. Lawrence's solution to bring down the cost of healthcare is to graduate more doctors. He said the American Medical Association incentivizes the medical schools to turn out less doctors every year. Housing, build more. He said before land use zoning and restrictions in the 1970s, the cost of similar housing in California and Nebraska was not too far apart. The greatest lie of the Democrats' vision is equality. It's not possible in human society. As an example, he asked the audience what someone picked out randomly in a phone book would do if given $10 million. Spend it. Elon Musk, invest it. Government, fund transgender sensitivity training. The following candidates share their primary and ballot experience. Paul Pogozelski, City Council District 30, came in second in a three-way Democrat race, talked about his community issues and what he did. Nikki Kane's City Council District 39 came in third, did petitioning and fundraising all by herself. Nikki is on the November ballot under the Voters First Party. She offers her expertise to help candidates. Japmeet Singh, City Council District 28, came in second in a five-way Democratic race. Lost to Speaker Adrian Adams, handpicked candidate Ty Hankerson, who spent $1.2 million with an M. Welcome the audience to contact him to know his C community. Dr. Selma Bartholomew, mayoral candidate, said she was not able to participate in debates due to the $198,000 spending threshold said she was not able, the first debate and $2.4 million spending requirements to qualify for the second debate. Dr. Selma declared that she will be the first woman mayor of the city. James Leonard, mayoral candidate, failed to get on the ballot under the party No to the City of Yes. He emphasized the need to exert influence as individuals in getting services and improving quality of life. He said that everyone has an agenda and those elected are leaving us out. David Rem, Republican mayoral candidate, wearing an Eric Adams shirt, endorsed Jim Walden's pledge come Labor Day to support one candidate against Mamdani. Eric Adams and Curtis Lewa did not sign on. George Marsh, mayoral candidate, was drained physically, mentally, and emotionally, failing to get on the ballot under common good. He stated that Mamdani is the new Blake. Taisha Parrott announced a barbecue in Ally Pond Park on Sunday, August 10th, being held by Queens Village Republican Club. The meeting was adjourned at 9:38 p.m. And those are the meetings of the July 2025 Republican Club meeting.
Thank you very much, Robert. Are there any corrections or modifications to the minutes, July's minutes? All those in favor say aye. Okay. All those opposed, one day from Isaiah Vega. The minutes has been passed. Thank you very much. Moving next to financial reports and our treasurer. Pogozelski, please.
Okay, present balance we have $4,322.50. encourage everyone. We have a raffle tickets over here on the table, and a lot of things to win. Recommend everyone buy tickets, and you know, this way also helping us to pay the rent and buy the food. All right, that's all. $4,322. That's what we have right now.
Thank you very much. Next. There's no need for the motion to take a report. We have the questions here.
How
Richard.
much was that? I'm sorry, I'm hard.
Sure.
How much did you have? Treasury?
$4,322.50.
Thank you.
And also, Erica recently remarried, had a great honeymoon, and I just want to congratulate him. Congratulations. Okay, let's see, we're moving down to announcement sections. As most of you know, the announcement is open to the floor, so anyone can make whatever announcement you like. Manfredonia has an announcement he'd like to make, so please, you want to come up? Sure. And anybody else want to make some announcement, welcome to do so before we get to the speakers.
Make sure you put this up. Okay, I used to write, my name is Edwin Manfredonia, and I wrote for a black newspaper. It was a real African-American newspaper. The owner was from Africa, Milton Alamani was from Uganda, and he was in here, so and he became an American citizen. And in there, we would have people come up there, we had gang members come up there, we didn't believe that. But somebody came up there one day, and you know how the press goes about Trump and his sex life and this and that. So this is 2010, and I'm sitting in there, and Milton takes this fellow out to lunch, and somebody else meets them, and he comes up, and he looks at me, and he said, you won't believe this. Sharpton's a homosexual. Wow. Not only that, he's paying rent. That's where he ties it with Puffy. So I write these letters now. I write a letter to Sharpton, I say, look, I know, Milton Alamani told me this about you. And I said, gee, so I mailed that letter to him certified, he has it, he's not happy. So I decided I better write him a second letter, and I write to the FBI, and I said, I'm writing to the FBI in case you decide to send something after. But anyway, so they don't ever talk to us. And then he gets really angry with Milton Alamani, and he calls him up, you know, and everything, and comes over to me. But the press knows this. The press doesn't do it. It's when they were investigating where he went, these expensive hotels that he's charging to National Action Network, all these people were giving him money, right, all these white liberals. And that's why. He's taking these kids, well, young, you know, 20-year-olds there, 20 or 20s. And the Times and everybody refuses to write about it. Contact Gotham, they're not interested. Contact someone else, they're not interested. Nobody's writing about it.
I had a question, sir. What was your reason to contact the FBI?
Oh, in case he sent somebody. Go ahead.
Okay, if everyone here, I was asking the gentleman, what was he said he was contacting the FBI? Is there any specific reason?
Yeah, and Milton's always telling me, we know people. So I know that he knows people. It's funny because, what's his name? Charles Barron, right? He's always anti-police, right?
Yeah.
So when I was there, Milton told me, he said, you know, he's anti-police and he's tied in with the drug dealers. I mean, he proved this in his neighborhood. He wanted, I was writing about white drug dealers, you know, the shadow posse, the papers, and things like this. And, you know, people on Wall Street who smuggled drugs and how Arthur Levitt protected them. By the way, Arthur Levitt, they want to know who protected Epstein. Levitt and Morgenthau protected Epstein. Morgenthau, because he was chairman, I know him personally, knew him personally when I was a member of the Adams. He was in charge of the SEC. He knew what went on, and he had to be a private. He got Steve Cohn off without any charges, his influence. And I said that women were members of the board that were smuggling drugs. He took those investigations over from the FBI, and they died. So you see all these people with crack on the streets, that's done by board members of the American Stock Exchange on their private boats, coming from the Bahamas into Florida. They leased the boats out. Harvey Silverman arranged it, Eddie Crooks. Silverman was a partner in Spielberg's color. Billionaire, he didn't need the money. But anyway, my thing with Sharpton, he exposed Jesse Jackson for having a love child, you know, that time. And he brought this fellow Rod Dreher there and everything. And here's Sharpton with the worst thing of all. And that's why, whenever you read the Times and they say, Sharpton was closely associated with Sean Combs, but we're not saying anything about it. And that's why. So I started writing. Also, with Epstein, there was one thing that they refused to write about, and that was Jarecki. He was the psychiatrist. He has his own item. And he was the psychiatrist who counseled Epstein's victims to try and, whatever, I don't know. But he had his own girlfriends who he shared with his friends. So that's kind of crazy. But anyway, I wanted to tell you about Sharpton, and I want to make sure. Okay, thanks a lot. That's all.
And you let us know if you can shop.
Yeah, I wrote the place. I sent it to the FBI. I sent it out all over.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much.
I despise the pervert. I mean, I don't care if he has sex with men. He pays for it. Those are his campaign funds.
Thank you very much, Edward Manfredonia.
Yeah.
Now make sure you put that on your website. Otherwise, I'll strangle you.
Hey,
Anyone else want to make some announcements before we get to the guests? I guess Steve Gillan, you want to make some announcements about some activities before we get to the guests? Our next meeting in September, we are going to talk about reorganization, okay? And Steve Gillan is going to be one of our main speakers.
Good evening. Okay, so thank you again for having me. I appreciate it. Just to let you know, I'm Steve Gillan. I'm Director of Political Affairs in Project Civica. We're a statewide organization. We're involved in so many different components that we have going on right now. We're involved in voter integrity. All right, we just had delivered research that we did for the 2024 elections to DOJ. All right, they accepted our stuff. We have a lot of information. We supplied them with all the data. We have over 400 people that voted in New Jersey and in New York in the 24 elections. We got their names, addresses when they voted. They all voted in person on November 4th in 2024 in both states. I delivered them to the district attorney in Suffolk County, where we had 24 of them. Hopefully they're doing an investigation on it. The information that we just supplied and just got down to the DOJ yesterday, hopefully they're going to be using it. We're pretty confident that they will. So that's one of the added items that we're involved in with Project Civica. Another one right now, August is Only Citizens Can Vote Month. All right, it's a national effort from all 50 states. Project Civica is coordinating New York State. And what we're doing is we're getting signatures to pass the SAVE Act. All right, I don't know if everybody's familiar with the SAVE Act. It passed the House of Representatives in the spring. And what it did, it really made the laws a lot stricter on who can register to vote. It also requires specific proof of citizenship before you can register. They're also, according to the legislation, they're responsible to have the voter rolls cleaned out, and anybody that's not a citizen get taken off the rolls. This has to get done before the 26 elections, all right? So right now, we passed the House of Representatives. It's sitting in the Senate. President Trump already said he will sign it immediately when it comes out of the Senate. So we're doing this national effort again, all 50 states, getting these petitions signed. On September 10th, all 50 states representatives will be going down to Washington, D.C. and delivering all these petitions to our senators. All right, and there'll be a rally, a big press conference, and everything else down there. What I would ask you all to do is please go to projectcivica.org, and you'll see when you scroll down, you just click on the petition, and you'll be able to sign electronically. All right? You can also print the actual petition if you belong to another organization, and you can get extra signatures. We hope everybody does it. We want to have a good showing for New York. Again, Project Civica, we're doing this statewide, and hopefully we'll have tens of thousands of signatures by the time September 5th comes along. So September 5th is the deadline, but if you sign online, you can get it, immediately, get it done, and we print them and we get them onto the full list. So that's some of the, stuff that's going on with Project Civica. Some of you may be aware, in 2024, we had the Common Sense contract with New York. I met with a bunch of candidates, one who's in the room now, back over a month and a half ago, and we looked at what are the most important issues that they feel, since they're out there on the street talking to people, trying to campaign. what are the most important issues? We worked on it for a couple hours. We came up with 7 specific pledges. All right? The pledges are, you know, specific to what any New Yorker, Republican, Democrat, or an independent would vote for. So the whole process, we're going to be launching it on September 2nd. We're going to be doing tons of TV commercials are going to be on to push this whole issue. And we hope that people will, you know, will go along with it. Yeah,
Sorry, can you take a question?
Yeah.
Okay. In 2024, you came up with the key points that the candidates used. How effectively do they use them?
That was one of the issues. We gave them all the tools, okay? And unfortunately, the candidates did not utilize the tools that we had, all right? We had a lot. We had videos. We had print. You could print the pledges at that time in 8 different languages. You know, we gave them all marketing materials. We gave them videos they could use. Unfortunately, it wasn't utilized to its fullest extent. We're taking what we learned back in 24, and we're making it better now for 25. All right, one of the things that we'll be doing on our website, which just came live the other day, is that you can download all the material in 28 different languages. So hopefully the candidates, when they go to an individual, you know, group and ethnicity, you know, different neighborhoods and stuff like that, they'll be able to print the pledges, the 7 pledges in that specific language, which we feel we have to do. We have to go out and we have to get all these different ethnic communities to get involved, but you have to be able to communicate with them. All right, these pledges are very nonpartisan. All right, it's common sense. It's just basic common sense, and that's what we got to tell people, and hopefully they'll come and vote for the candidates that sign the common sense contract. So that's where we're at. You know, we're working hard. The fight for New York is on. And this is 25 is a precursor to 26. Everybody's got to remember that. Whatever successes we have in 25 will turn around and help us in 26. If we look at the increases that we got in 24, where we got 22% increase in Queens, 21% increase in Bronx, 12 and 14 in the other boroughs, if we can increase that, that'll help us in 26. So that's our objective at Project Civica. Go on our website. We got a lot going on. I'm sure you guys would be interested in seeing all the other areas that we're involved in. So thank you, Daniel. Appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you very much. Steve Gillan, Project Civica. Anybody else want to make some announcements? Okay, seeing none, let's go move on to the main part of the meeting. That will be introducing candidates. Some of them are coming over from a different meeting, so we can write them later. Actually, if it's okay, Pat McManus, would you like to be the first speaker?
Okay, sure.
Now, Pat McManus is the chairman of the Bronx Conservative Party, and he's going to sort of kick us off with basically, well,
You want to sit? You understand?
it's up to you.
Okay. All right, thank you again. My name is Pat McManus. I am the chairman of the Bronx County Conservative Party. Thank you, Danny, for asking me to speak here again. I have spoken before you guys in the past, and again, I thank you for your welcome. What I want to speak to about tonight is a little issue we had in the Bronx the other night. I don't know, I think everybody here probably knows 2 years ago, for the first time in 4 years in the Bronx, we elected a Republican, a conservative Republican. Krishnan was elected to the city council on the conservative and Republican lines. Unfortunately, at her re-election campaign kickoff last week, 3 individuals showed up. And if they didn't publicize it all over the internet, I wouldn't use their names. It was Christopher Leon Johnson, Raul Rivera, and David Remy. They showed up to Christie's campaign kickoff, became very disruptive, calling Christie, Joanne Ariola, and Vicky Palladino rhinos and racists. This went on, the police had to respond, and can you imagine the irony of a bunch of supposed Republicans holding Andrew Cuomo signs, heckling sitting Republican city council members?
We cannot have this. If we ever want to get anywhere in New York
It's not
City,
Republicans, somebody probably gave money to do it.
we cannot, yes, we cannot fight like this amongst ourselves. Last time I spoke here, I mentioned that we can't start labeling rhinos till we have a majority, otherwise we're never gonna get anywhere. We hold 6 seats now out of 52.
Well, you won.
51, yeah, 6 out of 51, and we're fighting over those 6 seats. We have so many problems. We need to refocus, fight the socialists, fight the Democrats, and stop fighting with each other. I expected maybe some of those people to be here tonight. That's why I had spoken with Danny in advance and said I did want to address this situation. That's really all I want. I want to let the candidates get their chance to speak tonight.
Ed was mentioning to me now, the 3 people that came,
Yes.
they are non-Republicans or?
I believe David Graham is. Raul Rivera claims to be a Republican. And Christopher Leon Johnson, I don't know if you guys are familiar with him, he's just all over the place.
Yeah.
Yes.
We had that episode here once before. We had something like that when somebody came in involving one of the Hispanic members. And I said, they should have thrown him out. I'm okay for that.
Again, this is just something,
No, but somebody paid me, went upstairs, he was making a call to whoever did it. That's why, at one
I
time.
mean, it happens, it was a very unfortunate incident. And this is the things that prevent us from getting ahead. And then they complain that they're not taken serious. And the council members refuse to meet with them. And when you behave in that fashion, how do you expect to be taken seriously? So in any case, that's really all I want to say tonight. Thank you again, Danny, and thank you all.
And as I sort of mentioned earlier, our September meeting, we're going to try to focus on the Republican reorganization, how we can bring the party forward. And that's certainly what that test on is what we're going to try to do. Okay, let's continue with our new candidates. Let me start out.
Hi, Queens Republicans, my favorite place. How are you? I want to thank you. I feel honored. I traveled 2 hours to come here, but I think it's worth every minute to see you again. I remember many of your beautiful faces, and I miss you all. And congratulations to your very own Danny for winning the nominee. Oh, you didn't? Okay. I was the sole person that voted for Danny in the primary, and I'm very proud to be the one. And if you search even the speaker is very excited about my very beautiful vote. If you search the ED, in my ED, I was the only one. It happened that we just have one vote, so I know that vote was from me. So yes, Republicans face a very uphill battle, but I do believe that with Trump leading our Republican Party, and we are actually delivering a lot of results for our residents, we will be winning more and more, and our margin will become greater and greater. So the second time I ran for office, I got 32%, and I hope this time I will be closer to 51. And I hope all of you will come out and travel 2 hours, hopefully less, to help me on election day. Do I have someone that will come for 1 day on election day?
Your son.
Yeah, I hope I'm serious. I hope that you will give me a serious helping hand during early voting and election day particularly, that even your presence at the voting booth will make a huge difference. So I hope, and I received matching fund. I have received matching fund and did very well. So thank you, and I hope to be able to pay some of you. And I hope you will come, and I hope you will offer to help me make phone calls, which you don't have to travel 2 hours. So raise your hand if you can give me a helping hand, okay? And, oh, thank you, Danny. Your leader is Indian leader of us. So I just want to address one issue. President Trump has issued executive order that allowed people build their credit not only on credit card alone, but also on how you pay rent. So that has never been a way to build your credit. It was never counted if you pay your rent on time. But if you don't pay your rent on time, you receive a negative of your credibility. Now, Trump will make it that if you pay your rent on time, it will be your benefit. So I think that's very important for many people, and it's a good news, because a lot of the people, if they are living in NYCHA housing, especially we have Manfredonia running to freeze your rent, you think that is a great idea. But actually, it's a great scam. Why? Not because he's socialist and all those agenda. We already live in a socialist society in New York City, unfortunately. So I think what really matters is we understand the concept of a mortgage. So for people who did not have the opportunity to build credit, they couldn't get a loan. So they couldn't enjoy 30 years of freezing their rent per se, if, of course, provided that the property tax and other fees didn't arise as much. So what happened is the government purchased a building and then they freeze the rent as if, but they actually is scamming you, because after 30 years of you faithfully paying the rent, the government still owns the property and you have nothing to do with ownership. So I just want to bring that up. So as Republicans running against our great challenges this year, I hope that concept will become something that we can be proud of, because that's what Trump brings on the table for every single Americans who may not have the great opportunity to build credit over credit card and over a lot of income, but they can now build credit for their own right by paying rent faithfully, and that's being rewarded. So I'm very happy to know about that news and very happy to share that with you. And I use that as one of my campaign slogans. And I also want to announce a very great news. If every one of you can pull out your phone and log on, go to Helen, H-E-L-E-N, 4nyc.com. My website just launched today, just in time for me to come here to make that great announcement. So, did you get to see my website?
No.
Helen4nyc.com. Who can see it?
I can't.
Okay, wonderful. We have.
No, I can't.
No, I can't get it either. Is it number 4 or?
Number 4.
Oh, number 4.
Yeah, Helen number 4.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, numerical number 4.
Is that
I love
capital H
numbers,
or a
right?
small h?
What?
Is that capital H or a small h?
It doesn't matter. Oh yeah, Isaiah.
I got it now.
Yeah, show us.
There we go.
Yeah, Isaiah got it. Yay!
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I hope you love the website. I hope you love what I have to say there. And I hope you make a donation of $10 and more.
Miss, I have a question. You mentioned Mandini with rent-free. What's your plan on Montani on the rent-freeze idea? What's your plan?
He didn't say rent free. He said
No, rent-free.
freeze the rent
What was
freeze.
your plan on, how do you adjust your campaign for the landlords that are scared, that won't get any increases for their rent? I think he said 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, so I have two points to approach to that. Number one I just shared is about people not be happy or not settled with freezing of rent. I want people to know that they can own properties in America. And you are American, you need to own properties. So every American should own our country and not to let non-Americans own our country, am I right? So we want to own our country. We want to put in the credibility. We want to be serious about our financial responsibility and make our mortgage payment a serious matter in our lives. So that's one aspect of the coin. The other aspect is for people who are still renting. I think the current rent control is a big cancer. That's my opinion. Current rent control is a cancer for our rental market. It is as if it's a nice thing, but actually it hurts the rest of the population who are paying rent very faithfully. So it's allowing certain people to be squatters and not paying the rent, and while at the same time in the market punishing the people who are working very hard and faithfully. So I think that needs to be addressed, that we need the rent money for renovations, for paying the utilities, for paying for the maintenance of the road and the neighborhood. And that needs to be addressed. Thank you for that question. Any other questions, please? And I have many bullet points. You're welcome, and I'm happy to address.
I would address one issue, like they say affordable housing. But in reality, they don't put how much the affordable is.
Yeah.
And very often when you ask them, they don't even want to say it, and they say like, oh, it's affordable. But when you check, it's like 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 a month.
Correct. Yes, the affordable is a triggering word. It's like a hypnotizing word that they speak the word apple, and then all of a sudden you go into a mode. So right now the hypnotizing word is affordable. The moment you hear affordable, like, you're immediately triggered. But let's use that word on the Democrats. I'm arguing, which I think is very true. When you make the street very unsafe, you are making everything very unaffordable. They are less affordable. So you untrigger that word by qualifying it, like less affordable. The moment they hear less affordable, they forgot the word affordable. It's a psychological wordplay, but thank you for bringing that up. So it's not what the real content is, it's what people hear. So I think our Republicans need to run our campaign with advanced psychological knowledge. These are being taught in our elite college schools like Columbia, Harvard. They are teaching people that you can use these. So the Democrats are using these weapons to mass manipulate the population. So that's one of the things that people use. So we need to use that and accuse our Democrat opponents of making our neighborhood less affordable. My opponent, Christopher Martes, is making everything less affordable. Why? Because he's promoting marijuana. So his brother is having a 2-story marijuana shop, twice of this size, for 2 floors, first floor and the second floor, at the corner unit, in the middle of Manhattan, Lower Manhattan, on 85 Delancey Street. His brother. So my opponent got his brother the first marijuana license. So that's his accomplishment. And secondly, Christopher Martes wants to legalize prostitution. We already suffer prostitution in some of the street corners in Queens. And let me not mention where. And we already know that. It's on the newspaper. It's among the Chinese neighborhoods. So Christopher Martes is making our neighborhood less safe and less affordable. And I argue that that's what we need to accuse our Democrat Mandani is making our city less safe and less affordable. Even though he said he is not. He's making it less affordable. So I think that's very important. Do you have other questions? Yes, please.
In terms of the rent, why not simply allow rent stabilized landlords to go by the rent guidelines board? They meet once a year and they decide on what percentage landlords are allowed to raise the rent.
Yes, I totally agree. And in reality, that's probably what actually will happen and happening. But that's not how they get votes. They have to create a false narrative, a false word. It's a triggering word. It's a hypnotizing word. So they hypnotize you by saying, affordable. Everybody, mass, got into hypnotizing mode and say, oh, everything now, vote for me, okay. You know, so that's why they vote for people they shouldn't vote for. And you will wonder, why were people so intelligent? Especially, I graduated from Columbia. I studied PhD at Columbia. But my professors, 95% or even 98% of Harvard, Princeton, Yale, Columbia professors are voting Democrat. Why? Who in their right mind will vote for Kamala Harris? Will vote for Joe Biden, right? But they did. 95% Harvard professors, Columbia professors. Why? Because they got triggered. I say one word and then they say, ooh, yes. And then they no longer have the ability to read, no longer have the ability to question, to have critical mind, to have critical opinions. They got hypnotized. So that is what happened with highly intelligent crowd or highly intelligent voters. They got hypnotized, unfortunately.
I just had a quick comment on the gentleman's thing about the rent stabilization. What he forgets, what he's not saying is that if this man wins the mayor race, he appoints a lot of people to the rent stabilization board. You understand that?
Yeah.
And that's going to be a critical thing.
Yeah.
When it's
That's a wonderful thing, but I just want to mention about the mayoral race. We have a four-way right now. I don't know how bad you guys want to defeat Mandani, because I feel like he got over 500,000 votes. So that is the challenge we face. So it's not about who you think is a good candidate, right? It's about who we can collectively defeat the worst enemy. So it's a different beast. And for me, I'm running city council in District 1 in Lower Manhattan, south of Houston. So I did not get into the mayoral race particularly, because I know it's very divided. Not in this room, but in my district, I have only 2,000 people are from the Republican Party voted for me in 2022. And the rest of the 5,000 are from Democrats and independents. And I got 7,000 votes. So that's my voter base, and that's my constituents. It may be different from where you are here in Queens. So maybe you can enjoy a little bit of who you like, whether they're a good person or not good person. We don't have the luxury to say those things. In my district, we have a lot of challenge. I am representing my entire constituents' interests. And so I know my voter base, and I know my constituents are 8-1 Democrat to Republican. But I have good faith in winning. I have been running, and Danny knows that. Since the first year I ran, I have been running for 4 years. Why? Because I don't give up. I believe one day I will win the seat.
Bravo, bravo.
So I have been there for 4 years. This is the 4th year. And my record has been, the first year I got 7,000 votes, 25%. Second year I got 32%. And this year, I hope to up that number. Let's say 51%. What do you think? Thank you.
With regard to controlling rent, is there any hope for maybe cutting real estate taxes or doing other things to cut landlords' costs so that landlords won't need to raise the rent?
Yes, I propose to freeze the property tax. I actually have a flyer that says that I want to freeze the property tax. So on that note, I want to highlight one thing that might be interesting about me as a candidate. A lot of people say to me, oh, you're a Republican. Number one, it's hard for you to win, which is true. Number two, they say, even if you win, we just mentioned, we only have 6 people, right? So, you're not going to get anything done. That's what they're saying, right? Maybe you can get some funding for a district. That's about it, you know. That's actually what we do. But, praise to my Lord, I'm a Christian. I believe there might be ways that I will make a difference. Let me tell you 3 examples. Number 1, the city already mandated the grant houses, which is a natural housing, to mandate their little community garden area to become parking lots in 2019. They even sent people to measure the lot because they already decided that's what we would do. So they only need to pass through formality, which is to pass that resolution in community board. And everybody will vote yes, and then it will pass, right? So it will become a parking lot. But at that time, the community reach out and say, oh, we hope someone will speak up for us. We don't want a parking lot here. There are so many families, 6 housings, tall housings living there. They hope to have a small little green space. So I went. At that time, I'm not involved in politics. I went there. I make a short video of 3 minutes, and it's on my website. I make a short 3-minute video with the leader of the garden, and then I send that 3-minute video to the community board. In the video, I make a plea for them and show them how beautiful the garden is. And after they saw that video, everybody was silent because they were originally going to vote for parking lot. Now that they see how beautiful the garden is, if they vote for parking lot, that means they're going to destroy that garden on their hands. And the blood is on their hands. So everybody was silent. They don't know what to say. And then eventually someone said, how about we pause this proposal? Pause. And then everybody immediately said, yeah, let's pause it. So it did not pass, and it did not become a parking lot. After they paused it, guess what? Now it has been 5 years, actually almost 6, since 2019 to now. The garden is still there. Yay! The parking lot is being paused. Will it ever be? We don't know, but we know it's still being paused. So thank God for that opportunity. Second, I don't know whether some of you are very agonized about COVID mandate. And I was. So 2022, I was elected Vice President of Community Education Council. And we have a meeting with the Chancellor of Department of Education. And then in that town hall, I raised a question to the Chancellor in March 2022. I say, the graduation is around the corner. And we have 27% of the residents and students are not vaccinated. What would you do to help these people to attend their graduation? And I give them the exact number to the one of how many students are not vaccinated. And the Chancellor was shocked by the number. It was thousands that will be shut out from even attending their children's graduation, and the children will not attend their own graduation. And on that note, the Chancellor promised that he will talk to the Mayor Adams. And by talking to the Mayor, okay.
We have one more question, so we'll have.
Okay, wonderful. After Mayor Adams hear that, within 10 days, the next week, big news on the newspaper. Mayor Adams is going to allow children who are unvaccinated to attend graduation. And I gave a smile, I know why. And since then, if you can allow children to go to indoor celebrations, everybody doesn't need to have that COVID mandate anymore. Praise the Lord. So, thank you so much. So I think I am going to be a very lonely and small voice. However, if God gives me the opportunity, I believe I'm able to make that happen. And let the praise be to God. Okay, last question. Thank you for giving me extra time.
Thank you. What's more important, freedom or safety? You have to pick one. What would you pick?
I think it's a coin of two sides. Your question, I will question your question. We cannot have safety and freedom separated each other, right? And we live in safety right now because we have people who sacrifice for our freedom. We should never forget that. And we should never forget 9/11, who on the global stage that we are being challenged. And I think a lot of people might have forgotten that. So this year is the year that we should remember 9/11 every single day. God bless you. God bless your president. God bless you all. Thank you.
Hello, good evening. I'm going to be very brief. My name is Emmanuel Findlay. I'm running to represent the 16th Council District in the Bronx. I came here today because one of the things I've noticed is that we are disjointed and we are not connected, because you have the Republicans and the conservatives in Queens and in the Bronx, but a lot of times we don't get together and work within the communities, and that's where the work is. It's on the ground in the communities. Now, in the Bronx, we don't see a lot of the conservatives until myself and Tyreek and some of the other guys came along, and we're on the ground, and Pat has been really helpful in getting us out there and working with the community, because that's what's important. People want to see you out there, and they want to see boots on the ground. They want to know, why are we voting for you? Why should you believe what you believe? And then until you start talking to them, then you realize that you have a lot of the same core beliefs together. You want the government to stay out of your business and not get involved when they don't need to put their nose in. You want the government to make sure that it uses the taxpayer money the way that we all expect it to. Make sure that our infrastructure is upheld, make sure that our schools are upheld, make sure that our police officers are out there to police our neighborhoods, but also know that we can keep the police officers and hold them to a higher standard. When if they do the wrong thing, they know there are consequences, and when they do the right thing, they know that, hey, we're going to praise them for it and give them a pat on the back. That's not happening. So my thing is, we need to go back into community, go back into boots on the ground, get back into talking to your neighbors, knowing who your neighbors are, get back into the church, getting back into the mosque. Doesn't matter what religion is, getting back to community, because that's the only way we can actually enforce our own power. Because we're giving up our rights for safety. And by the way, for you, that question you might ask me, the answer is I'd rather freedom over safety. Because I can obtain my safety with freedom, but I'm not necessarily able to obtain my freedom with safety. Because if I could lock you in a prison cell and you can't get out. But you're safe. I'm sorry, you had a question?
Yeah. What are you particularly, which lines are you running on, and what are you doing yourself about going out to the community?
Well, I'm always out there in the community. I'll do some community cleanups where I go out there with myself, Pat, a couple other members. We go out there, clean up the community, make sure it's looking good. The other day we had especially when things go around in the community, something goes wrong, and if I'm around that area, I always step in to try and see what's going on and what I can do to help improve the community, improve what's going on. The last time we had somebody try to burn down the building I was in, and this person, somebody had mental illness. And I ended up having to call the police officers and try to get them to come pick them up. And unfortunately, we couldn't get that done that day because they have all these laws that are tying and handcuffing the police officers to it. And then having gone through that, it gives me a better understanding of what's going on so we can know what to attack, what causing the issue. Because if you have issues that have people with mental illness, and these people are not being institutionalized as they should be and held for longer than 72 hours, they come back out. So to your question, my thing is being in there in the moment when my community needs me, being on the ground there and working with my community.
Which line do you run?
I am running under both the conservative and the Republican line. Does that answer your question? All right. Anybody else want to? Yes, sir.
Okay, so you said you would put freedom over safety. Does that mean that the traffic laws should be optional? Does that mean we should have no safety standards? What are you saying?
No, he said you had to pick one, freedom or safety.
They're both important.
They both are important, but one helps you get the other one.
One helps people.
Yeah, your freedom, with your freedom you can attain safety, right? You can't necessarily attain your freedom with safety.
But you're not for relaxing, you're not for
What I'm aiming at is I am more of the belief of we can work to get what we want. Right? With freedom, I can work with the next person sitting next to me. I can work with the other person of a different ethnicity. It doesn't matter because we have the freedom to work together. I have the freedom versus if I'm always worried about safety. Right? I don't have the freedom to work with anybody because I'm trying to be safe. I don't know I'm afraid of this person. I'm scared of this person. So that's the dynamics we're playing. You're welcome. Anybody else? Yes, sir.
Oh, so that's my point that got caught at the key. All these rates are like utility rates, like, but all this keep getting worse and worse. Like the poor folk cannot afford it everywhere. But instead of all, like all the interiors keep raising rates to $3, and a lot of people do struggle to make ends meet. So how do you combat to lower the base fare?
All right, so to lower the rent thing, the thing with rent is that it's a very tricky thing if we're going to be honest about it. Because rent freezes are not going to help. Because right now we have apartment buildings that are empty, and it's more feasible for the landlords to leave it empty and just put it in as a tax write-off as a loss. What we want to do is we want to encourage landlords to open up their the market, right? So we want to open up the market. So I'll take away the rent freeze so that I can force the landlords to compete with each other. And then also, what we want to do is we want to look at the entitlements that we have. How much are we overpaying? Because what happens is if the landlords know that, hey, the government is guaranteed to pay this, then they can raise however they want. But if there's a cap on that, then we know, hey, this is how much the government is paying. It doesn't stop you from raising it. We're just knowing that when you're taking in people that come in, make sure these are people that can actually afford these buildings. So what you want to do is you want to balance it out. It's tough, it's very difficult, but you want to balance it out. Some cuts are going to have to be made. We want to look at who are the people that are getting these benefits. Are there people that are able-bodied that should be out there working? And if these are people that are able-bodied that should be out there working, then we should do everything to get them out there working, so we can have more people that are able to pay into the system to help everybody else. So that's one of the things we got to make some cuts and we got to make some hard choices to force people to get back into the workforce. Yes. Does that answer your question? Yeah. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that's my question.
Yes,
Mr. Findlay, I believe you have a background in the military.
Yes.
Can you tell me, in your opinion, how you believe your experience with the military can be applied to helping your district?
Well, one of the things, again, boots on the ground. That's the one thing I know always works. Because when you're out there on the ground and you're talking to people, you can get real-time information on what's going on and what needs to be changed. Not only that, you get real-time feedback from the community. It's like, yes, we tried this last time, but this didn't work because of this, this, and this. So therefore, getting real-time information as things happen puts you in a better position to better manage your community, because that's what you're really doing. You're managing the community. So bringing that aspect of things to being like the boots on the ground, to being present every day, to showing up every day and being there. That's what I'm bringing in from that aspect. That's what I'm learning, because you have to show up. Because it doesn't matter what I know, it doesn't matter how much dreams I have. It's irrelevant if I'm not there to actually work on it and make sure that it happens. So that's what I'll be bringing in from there. Does that answer your question?
It's okay.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna be moving on.
To be honest, boots on the ground is kind of jargon that...
Oh, so when I say boots on the ground, again, I really mean boots on the ground, which means I go into my community every day when I come home from work. I'm walking, I'm talking to people on the street. when I say boots on the ground, yesterday I had one of my community members come up to me. He's like, "Hey, look, what's going on with this, with the playground? When you go to the playground, you have the bumps all over, the cracks going on. So now what we're doing is we're trying to bring up a press conference to start bringing awareness to that. And from there on, we're going to start writing letters and campaigns to go into the current representatives to do something about the playground, because it's unsafe for the children. You can't have children running away or run around in the playground where there's cracks and the cracks opening up, and where there's supposed to be soft pads, it's not soft because of, again, the underground, the ground is swelling up. So that's when I say boots on the ground. I know it's a jargon, but I mean boots on the ground, actually being there on the ground with the people, seeing what's going on, and then coming back into the city council and fighting and bringing that fight to the city council and saying, this is what the people are saying, this is what's going on. So again, when I say boots on the ground, I mean physically being there and talking to people. Does that satisfy the question?
It's much better, thank you.
And if I could just add to that, boots on the ground is a military term. That's how he's relating it to boots on the ground.
I definitely got it. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Emmanuel. We're going to be moving on to the next candidate.
All right, thank you, guys.
Just one more thing before I go. If you guys are looking for more information, if you guys want to get in touch with me, you can go on Instagram. That's e.findlay. That on Instagram, you'll be able to find me, all right? Thank you, guys.
Next up to speak is Stefan.
Dachtera.
How do you say the last name? Mr. Stephen Dachtera for Queens Civil Court.
Good evening. How's everyone doing? Good. Great. So I'm running for civil court judge. What's civil court? Civil court is a court that hears disputes for $50,000 or less. It's located in Jamaica. Has anyone ever been to civil court? Show of hands. Okay. How'd it turn out? Good? However, you should know that there is one Republican judge in Queens. Just one. Which is kind of unbelievable, you would think. But that's the reality. Now, I ran countywide last year. We got 179,000 votes. That's pretty good. But it wasn't enough, because the Democrats almost doubled us. And that's because they are ferocious in getting out the vote. Ferocious. They go door to door. They have volunteers lined up because they are aggressive. Republicans, we're just not as aggressive. Okay? I stood online with some of my staff, including Gina, who's with me here, at the polling sites, talking to people. What did they say? Oh, we're turning Republican this year. We're sick of the Democrats. People after people online, right? But why did it translate? Because it's just not enough people, as he said, boots on the ground. That's what it takes. But now is the time to make a move. The Democrats are vulnerable. Trump's in office. The tide is turning. If we're going to change something, it's now, right? And we need people like you who come to these meetings, right? It's not enough to come to the meeting. You got to get involved. Because you want change, you have to make it happen. It doesn't start. It starts here, but it doesn't end here, right? So we need people to do something. If it's come to fundraisers, knock on doors, even spread it through social media, right? That's how it's done. We can't just sit on the chairs. We have to do something when we leave here, right? We all have opinions. We all are passionate. I see the people asking great questions, right? Bring that passion out there. The other thing I wanted to mention is, well, I want to do a little survey. How many people are from Queens here? Yeah, mostly. Okay. The people who are not from Queens, where going to happen? Just want to get an idea of demographics. So, as I said, the important part is that all these candidates, they all need support, right? So, any little thing can help. As I said, if you don't want to go door to door, that's kind of intimidating, I know, but just spread it to your social media. Social media is such a great thing. We didn't have this years ago. So use it to our advantage. And I'll take some questions if you have any. Yes?
Yeah. Would a Democratic judge in a small claims court action make a decision different than a Republican judge?
Fantastic question. You know what? Let me tell you something about the law and how sometimes it can work, right? There's some interpretation with a judge. There's certain laws that are statutory and there's no room. But I'll give you an example really quick on how someone's political mindset or attitude could make a difference, right? Let's say you have a case where you're being sued and you don't show up to court for whatever reason. You didn't get the letter, you didn't get the date, you're working, whatever. You don't show up. What happens? You get a default judgment against you. That means the other side wins without a fight. Okay? Then all of a sudden, you find out about the case. And you come back to court. You say, Judge, I didn't get the notice. I wasn't here. Now, once you default, it's up to the judge's discretion on whether or not you have an excusable default. What does that mean, right? That's up to an interpretation, right? So, the law says you can come back and vacate that judgment if you have excusable default and you have a meritorious defense, meaning you have a defense to it that could work, but you didn't get a chance because you never showed up. Right? But at first, you have to say why you didn't show up. And some judges are of a different opinion. Some judge may see you or may know that you're a Republican and they'll just deny your motion even though you may have a good excuse, but they'll say it just wasn't good enough. Or, you know what, your affidavit was just not strong enough, right? There's interpretation that goes into it. So yes, there's some truth to that. No one will ever admit it. Never, ever, ever, right?
There's a lot of truth to it. I've been through it a lot.
Right, so you've been in court, you know.
Yes.
So
Landlord tenant court.
landlord tenant, the worst.
They always
The
favor
worst.
the tenant.
Yeah, they're always favoring the tenants all the time, right? I used to work landlord tenant court. I was a court attorney for 2 years, so I know what it's like. I've been an attorney for 19 years. Yes?
When he was breaking, how would you operate on that kind of situation? Someone didn't show up and they brought you to the brief, you know, some legitimate reason. Is that, you said you see up to the interpretation, how would you,
Well, everything is fact specific, but my purpose of telling you that example is that when I'm a judge, my job is to take the merits of somebody, not by their political affiliation, not by, I don't like what they're wearing, they're wearing a t-shirt I don't like, right? It's not about that. It's about fairness, right? That's what I'm trying to do, is be fair to everyone. Equal rights for everyone, no matter what they look like, no matter what my perception is. That's what should be. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you, Steve.
You have a website.
Yes, I have a website. Okay, it's really easy. All right, it's my first name, Stephen, the number 4. Everyone loves the number 4, apparently, for websites. For Stephen 4, Civil Judge. Simple. You can go in there, make a donation. I would so appreciate it. There'll be a link to a fundraiser that's coming up. I see one more question.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, Steve, it's very hard for a Republican to win in Queens, almost impossible. So what I suggest you do is what a lot of Republicans do. Run as a Democrat and become a dynamo. Democrats being
Well, most judges who win either have Democrats or they run on both lines, right? I had a guy, this guy named Peter Lane. He was a Republican for 4 years on the ballot. Never got in. Last year, he got cross endorsed. Guess what? He's a judge now, right? But here's the thing. Do you want to really be a sellout? Is that what you want to? I mean, I don't want to be a sellout, right? I want to win as a Republican. I don't want to sell out. I want to sell out.
My difference between you and me is I want to win, too.
I want to win too, but
At any cost.
there's a price you pay when you sell out. There's a price. Anyway, thanks.
Hello, Central Queens Republican Club. Give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you for being here. What is up? How are we feeling tonight? Thank you for being here, first and foremost. It's good to have, a couple of people that have like-minded ideas like me and be able to talk to you guys. And happy to see a lot of smiling faces. God bless you all, first and foremost. Thank you to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, for allowing me to be here and to speak to each and every one of you. God bless each and every one of you here tonight. Again, I thank all of you for being here. Now, I have a really tough job right now. My area, District 25, Elmhurst and Jackson Heights, running as a Republican.
And
It's
what's
like
that?
progressive liberal central over there, right? I gotta, go after these people, with a strong fist and strong feet, and then I gotta defeat these people, We got boots on the ground, I wear sneakers, so I got my kicks on the ground. I have a lot to do over there, a lot of minds to change, but I know I can do it with your support, with each and every one of you talking about what I plan on doing to fix Elmhurst and Jackson Heights.
And what's that?
And Woodside, and Corona, and Flushing, because I'm not stopping at my location. I'm not stopping in my district. I'm not gonna be one of these guys that says, oh, you know what, it's not in my district, I'm not paying attention to it. I'm helping everybody. And that's how we're supposed to do these things. We're supposed to stand hand in hand. We're supposed to look out for each other. We're supposed to help each other out at all costs. And that's what I'm going to represent. I'm representing the people that are down, the people that have no voice, the ones that feel suppressed. We are better than what we're given. We are better than what we're shown. They want to keep on giving us, freebies, and they want to talk about all these free things that we can get, but that's not how we do things. We work for it. We work to be greater. We work to do better for our families. We work hard, and it pays off. So we demand cleaner streets. We demand for the areas that we live into to be prostitute-free. We want crime to go down. In my area, there's prostitution in front of a Lutheran church just like this one, which is right across the street from an elementary school. And we have prostitutes there doing drugs out in the open. They're there until 7, 8 in the morning with children walking past, having to step over condoms, used condoms, having to step over hypodermic needles, crack pipes. This is the neighborhood I grew up in. I'm not gonna allow this. That's why I stepped up. Councilman Shekar, who's the incumbent of that area, he's really happy to talk about getting $88 million for 34th Avenue. Where did that $88 million go? How did that help the rest of the district? Our children are suffering in school. They're not doing great. Our scores can be much better. We have our teenagers out on the street going crazy. Just the other day, somebody was stabbed to death right on 94th Street, where there's a big activity of drugs being. That's where they sell crack. I have crack being sold in my neighborhood. Crack's from the 80s, but it's in my neighborhood. I have people that are strung out with hypodermic needles surrounding them as they sleep through the night. And my son has to walk over those needles to get to high school. How is that fair for the people and the families of that district? How is it that one side can be represented so well, like in East Elmhurst, on 34th Avenue, and the surrounding areas that are much nicer, that are off of Roosevelt? They're all so happy. They're happy-go-lucky. They walk around with smiles, while there's groups of children having to walk around traumatized because on their way to school they have to pass by a brothel. What type of life is this? It's not happening in Astoria, right? Where Zora Mamdani lives, I'm sure around the corner from him there isn't a brothel. But where I live there is. Where all these other politicians that they feel so good about where they live, come over to my block, come over to my neighborhood, come over to my district, and see what's really happening. And it's not only happening in my district, but I'm making noise about it. If you check my Instagram, Ramses.Frias.ny, you'll see it. You see the drug use. You see the prostitution. You see all the ill that's going on. I'm tired of posting these things. I want to show the beauty of my neighborhood. We're culturally rich. We're the most diverse neighborhood in all of the world. I have people from Indonesia, Malaysia, Dominican Republic, Colombia, Ecuador. I have all these types of people living there. I have so much beauty, so much culture surrounding me. But then the bad side of it is hidden. It's hidden especially by Shekar, who's the incumbent there. So he has to go because he's being one-sided. We need somebody that's going to represent everyone equally, who's going to represent the people and the cries of the people that are weak. Change is coming. It's going to come with me, but I need your help. We have to support each other when it comes to campaign fundraisers. You have to give, even if it's $5, try to give. Give to those in your county. Give to Curtis Lewa so we can get him up and over the top so he can become the mayor. We all have websites. You can all donate. Every little bit counts, and we need to support each other. You tell your friends, there are people out there that are fighting for us, that are fighting for the real New Yorkers. I'm born and raised in Queens. I'm an American. My mother came from Haiti, my father from the Dominican Republic, but they came here for a better life. And they gave it to me, and they gave it to my brother. And I'm giving it to my children growing up in the same neighborhoods that I grew up. But I want them to be proud as I am, the way I grew up. Knowing that I can walk to a store without being harassed by a prostitute trying to solicit me, or trying to solicit my son. Because they go after teenagers. So it's time for us to be vocal, to come together, to stand together, and to make things happen for the Republican Party. Be proud. Be proud of who you are, what you represent, your morals, and how you were raised. Be proud of your country, because we are starting to fix what is wrong. Thank you very much to each and every one of you, always. Thank you. Yes, sir. Your question.
I have a suggestion for you. In your neighborhood, it's right out in the open, all the stuff you're talking about.
That's right.
I expect you to call a press conference, get all the local newspapers there, and make a big stink about it. Really, because AOC's, she's in charge of the area, basically.
She's part of it.
This other guy is her puppet. And if you got, since it's got some publicity, I would make the biggest press conference for you to get your name out there. I'm the one fighting it.
Thank you. So we just had a press conference last Sunday in Corona, in front of one of the brothels. And we do this. I've been doing this for a while. Yeah, I appreciate it. It's definitely what's needed. It's more media needs to definitely come out there and be relevant and show the real grittiness of what's happening in my neighborhood. But yes, just last Sunday in front of a brothel on 108th Street, 39th Avenue, we stood there. It was me, Hiram Montserrat, Curtis Lewa, and a lot of individuals from the neighborhood, a lot of residents. And and we were there protesting this brothel that's it's super active. If you can find it on Google Maps, you'll see the ladies standing on the corner. And it's a shame, really, that Google Maps, you're gonna go there to look for anything, and you see these women literally standing there soliciting men trying to pull men. Your question?
I've got two questions, actually. One, what's your website? And two, what is your number one issue that you want to work on as a city council member?
Sure. So, my website is Ramses, RAMSES 4FORNYC.com. Instagram is ramses.frias.ny. You can find me there. I'm very active on there. And my number one issue will be public safety. Our area is inundated with violent crime and just chaos. On any given day, you'll see, a lot of things that are not normal in every other neighborhood. You'll see people literally sitting down at a table selling drugs with no care. Again, the prostitution is just done blatantly in your face. It's without a care. It's almost as if you live in a Twilight Zone kind of thing. Like you walk up one block, it's beautiful, sun is out, beautiful house, beautiful scenery, and then you walk to another block, and now you're all of a sudden in this like deep-rooted criminal activity, and so many just bad characters in the area that make it worse for the hardworking families. So that needs to get cleaned up. We have way too much gang activity. Gangs run a lot of the businesses in the area and extort a lot of the businesses. They're the reasons that a lot of the human trafficking that's happening in the area and the prostitution is happening in the areas due to gangs. So I would like to also work with NYPD to go up against these gangs.
Yeah. What kind of human trafficking exists? What type of human trafficking?
So with the prostitution that we have in the area, there's a lot of Latina women and Asian women that are subjected to this. A lot of them do it freely, from my understanding of it, but a lot of them are trafficked in. Last summer, when things were really bad, that's when I saw a lot of young women, mostly teenage women in the area. I'm sure they were trafficked in for this. This is not something that was promised to them, saying, "Oh, you're going to work somewhere," and working somewhere was being on the corner. So we need to put a stop to that. We cannot have a safe haven for human trafficking and sex trafficking in that area, and it's been going on for years. And I'm making sure that everybody knows that it comes to an end once I'm in there.
Why don't you send a letter to the lady that represents in the House of Representatives, your area, invite her to join you. Send her a letter. This is, I don't know her name. Try to invite her, an open letter in every one of these local newspapers. I'm having this thing, please help me in cleaning up our district.
So, from what I hear, she comes into the area, she's been there before, she's seen what's going on, but, stays quiet about it. They don't want to meet me. I call them out all the time. I tag them on just about everything. Her, Grace Meng, Shekar, Krishnan, Jessica Ramos, the State Assembly, Jessica Gonzalez Rojas, Catalina Cruz, Stephen Raga. I call these people out every day for being quiet, and they say nothing, do nothing, just ignore me. They want me to go away, but I get more annoying. I get louder. I get more people to come with me. I get more noise. Fox News eventually, puts me on TV and has, gives me that stage to speak to a lot of people. We got the New York Post been in there a couple of times, called her out. So we're out there doing what we gotta do.
We can team up.
Definitely, we can definitely team up. That's the whole point of this. We have to team up.
Sorry, I've got another question for you. Have you ever considered dressing up in a suit and tie? Yeah.
So,
look. Then you can see Trump.
Look, I'm a New Yorker, right? I'm born and raised here. This is my home. This is me. What you see is me. Good. I want you to know who I am, what I look like on a regular day-to-day. I don't have to dress up in a suit to let you know that I'm here to work for you. I'm just here to show you that anybody that looks like you and sounds like you and talks like you can get the job done.
Good job.
When it's time for it, you'll see me in a suit. I get suited up all the time. Trust me, I love it. I worked in a bank. I got suited up every single day.
You're gonna appeal to a wider range of voters if you do that, if you put a suit and tie on.
I'm here with
You
you.
will.
I'm here with
You're gonna
you.
get more votes.
My boy in the tee and the shorts. My man looking cool right here with his Hawaiian shirt. This is who we are.
I'm gonna vote for the guy in the back there with the tie.
It's not a problem. I got a tie too. But his words, unless they're doing what I'm doing, is nothing. Just because he's in a suit, I could walk in a suit all day.
But he spoke well too.
And I'm not speaking well?
No, but
I mean, I'm talking to you, I'm communicating to you, I'm showing you exactly what can get done, I'm showing you the work that I'm doing.
all other things being equal, you're gonna get more votes if you put a tie.
Like I said, when the time comes, I'll be in the suit.
It's here, you're campaigning.
I'm right here, and I'm letting you know who I am. This is what matters, me. Me. That's your opinion. Brandon.
Do you have any events coming up, and could you describe the other candidates that you're going up against? I know it's not just a one-on-one.
Yeah, so we have a four-way race going on. I am the Republican conservative and on the independent ballot with Courtesy Watch to Protect Animals. And you know, tomorrow I have a fundraiser that everybody's more than welcome to come by. It's at Bariles Restaurant, 8314 37th Avenue. Great place, great restaurant in the community. Very supportive of what I'm doing, and you know, that's gonna be, you know, a great location. You can come talk to me one-on-one if you want to, and you know, there's gonna be great food, great vibes. Now, we are facing two, not only the incumbent, but two other gentlemen that are running independent, Ricardo Pacheco and Shah. Pacheco ran in the primaries against Shekar. Didn't do well, and you know, but now he's still in the race. So I have to beat three others, right? It's just like the mayoral race. So my race is very important because the work that I'm going to do to restore that neighborhood is going to restore New York City. Because once they see what I can do there and what we all can do there as a whole, will change and will make enough of a push to show that the same model can be done in all neighborhoods in our area.
So my own point, we have like, you got governors in court, we have the attorney for Nassau, they do a lot of radio interviews, so I want to see like you have like a radio interview, like you got WR, WEC.
I mean, I've done many interviews. I've been on Fox Noticias, I've been on Fox News, I've been on Fox Business, Fox and Friends in the mornings, mostly Fox. I've done a lot of interviews with the Post. I'm doing what I have to do again to make sure that people know what's going on in District 25, the issues that are really happening in District 25. And there's a lot of suffering, but we can come out of it victorious. As long as I have the support of all my Republicans and everybody in this room and outside of this room, the ones that you will share my posts with, the ones that will make things happen, is sitting in these seats and is sitting in those seats at home. I just need all your help as a collective, because I'm here to represent each and every one of you and each and every one of our families. Any other questions? All right, thank you very much again. Central Queens Republican Club. Love you guys. Have yourselves a good night.
All right, and next to word is Rinaldi.
Big John Stud. He's my guy right here.
What's up? I'll just start off by saying that it was Benjamin Franklin, right, that said that, you know, if you sacrifice your liberty for safety, you'll lose both and deserve neither. I mean, that was, it's just a quote to suggest that you must stand vigilant against tyranny wherever you may find it. So I'll start off by that. I'll just say a few things and I'll just take questions. But, you know, first of all, the mayor does not matter. Okay, it's the city council that passes legislation The mayor is like the designer, the city council is like the builder, right? The mayor just proposes the budget. It's the city council that passes the budget. It's the city council that has investigatory powers. It's the city council that is actually the ones that run the government. The mayor, who cares? We all know who's winning, doesn't matter. And you know, the important thing is, I heard a lot of people talking some things, but rent, right? If you're talking about rent is going to mean nothing when your energy bills are 6 to 10 times as what they are, because the plan of the city is to put us all on electric, right? So when Con Ed shows up to the community board meetings and they say, yeah, use less electricity because we don't have enough, right? When they pass the City of Yes, that the city council passed, not the mayor, the city council, and there's no infrastructure in those bills to put stuff in the ground or to build schools or to do any of those things, well, your rent is the least of your problems. And we have to really make sure that we are energy independent and we use all available energy, including electric, including gas, including whatever, right? We have the Hudson River, we can use that. Let's look into that. So, you know, it's just really important to understand that aspect. And yes, it's a reorganization year. It's very important for you guys to understand. Listen, you Democrat. We love you. We love you out here. The Democratic reorg was last year. This year is the Republican reorganization year. I know that Danny wants to talk about it at the next meeting, but we do have contingents from the Bronx who are conservatives. How did they get on the Republican line? Because they got a Wilson Procula. It's very important that there are tools that we have to utilize. We have no farm system, the Republican Party is non-existent. We need to have county committee. We need to have all of these things in order to build the infrastructure so that we have a party. I wanted to just discuss the county committee a little bit as well, because we have a vote for the chair of the Republican Party in your boroughs. So it's very important to understand that we need a strategy. The Republican Party not only is it non-existent, but it's also without strategy. So one of the ideas that I am bringing forth, that I want to talk about that, because in reality we're a Republican club, and we need to all be in the county committee. What we need to do is look at City Council District 30. We have to look at Bob Holden. We have to see how can a Republican win, and what is the strategy that would make us viable in the media, make us a news story, and make us relevant. And last year when I ran for state assembly, there was 18 assembly seats, only 7 people ran, so we don't have vacancies filled anyway. So what I'm proposing to do is to run as Democrats, register as Democrats, run 0 Republican candidates from this moment forward. We should everybody that wants to run, register as a Democrat so we can campaign as Democrats to the people that will not talk to us. I'm from Forest Hills. Nobody will talk to me if I'm a Republican. If we are Democrats and campaign, then we get the Wilson Procula, which the Bronx Conservative Party, which is out here in full force, utilizes it to the full power and potential, and we should do the same. So what I'm saying is that if we do not change the culture of the party, and we do not have a strategy moving forward, because all of us showing up here every election cycle and spewing the same nonsense isn't making a lick of difference, it's not going to change. We have to have a strategy, and the reorganization which is happening next year, for all those Republicans that are in here that think that they will vote for the people that are in power right now for the same, we need complete new leadership throughout the party, bottom to the top. But I'll just take some questions. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes. So only question is how you cut back crime, because we've been through like a lot of shoplifting, over some stores taking advantage of it. So ultimately riot closed down all. Now they talk about the next one is Walgreens. How do you come to cut back crime? That's number one. Number two, because the MTA keep raising the fares over again. They figure they're gonna vote sometime at the end of the year. So they're gonna raise the express buses around a quarter. So how are you gonna combat those fare increases? Hold them accountable.
Well, first of all, I believe in absolute free public transportation because I realize that over the last few years, there's plenty of money to give to everybody. So I want some of that money back. So I think that the way that the system is supposed to work is that if you don't take my money as soon as I wake up in the morning and you let me spend it in a restaurant, you let me go to work, and you let the city start thriving again, that's how the culture, the environment is going to be more beneficial for everybody, because every time you spend that money, it gets taxed a million times. So I don't believe that we should be paying for public transportation, because if we are in this great society, that should be a staple for one of the things for the working class to be able to benefit from. And in terms of crime, what we have to do is empower the shop owner, empower the neighborhood. If the shop owner has to do what he has to do to make sure that his shop is safe, then he should be able to do that. If there is someone that's committing a crime, they should be held accountable. Listen, I get arrested, I go and I do stuff, it's terrible, and you have to understand that a lot of people that are doing crime is because they have no money in their pockets. So we can't just always think about what we're going to do to someone when they commit a crime. We have to understand why they're doing it, and we have to make the economy better for them. We have to make it better quality of life, and some of those things might just be free public transportation. If I can't get to work, and I've been struggling, I've been through tough times. Jim, you know why I don't have suits? Because my kids are teenagers, and they get everything that I have. I don't even have money for myself at the time. But that's the reality of it for all of us. My mom, she's got a rent-stabilized apartment. How can I go against something like that? She can't survive if she pays any more rent. We have to look out for us. We have to make sure that things are cheaper for us, and we have to make sure that we have the social services that are for us. That's how things are going to change.
Any other questions for Jonathan before we move to the next speaker? Sorry, correction?
A lot of the public transportation, the governments do subsidize it quite a bit. If you wanted to make the subways free and the buses free, where would you get the additional revenue needed to run the system?
Thank you.
See, I get asked that question all the time, right? And it's a valid one, right? But I don't care. Just make it free and let's see what happens. When you pay every day and you're paying taxes and you're contributing to society, the money will circulate and there'll be more of it. I don't think that you should have to take things from the working class first before they have a chance to spend it. I believe that if we have a culture like that, then it would create more revenue for the city, because the money will circulate more and be taxed more, and it would be more in circulation. But I don't care. I want it free because it's for me to go take. I have 3 kids with my girlfriend, her son, to just go somewhere. If I want to go down the block, it's too far to take the bus. That's a big expense. $20 that I can use to buy an appetizer or something like that. Put the money back in the pockets of the people, and you'll see that there will be more, and the government will make more, because they will get more in taxes because it gets circulated.
How would you handle the migrant crisis we have?
So, see, my family's immigrant, all of us are immigrants, listen, we're all immigrants, but the thing that we have to understand, right, which is because they utilize situations to make us feel bad and make our hearts make decisions on certain things. So we have to understand that the immigration situation was a tool that was used for a specific reason. Because when the immigrants are here, right, they get a lot of the social services. It's a big drain. A very small population gets a very large amount of the budget of the city. That is by design. That is meant to crash the system for a reason, so that they can bring in more controls, more socialist ideas, and more totalitarianism. So it's important to understand that that is what is happening, and it's not so simple to just take a stance against something because it's used specifically to affect our emotions, but then also to attack the system. So I believe that we're good people, and we're always going to be a good people, but they're taking advantage of us. So I would say we got to stop being taken advantage of, and it's a conversation that is so nuanced and complex that we just have to stop what's going on for right now and take that money for the social services that's going to a small population and give it to the rest of us. And that's what we have to do. We have to take the money that's being spent and put it back into our pockets. Instead of giving the money to small populations, put it back in so that we can all benefit. And that's what it really comes down to. Yeah.
Could you explain the difference to me between an invader or a settler?
In terms of government, right? The government has a budget that they have to spend. And city council, just like anything else, they have the budgetary responsibility to make that money disperse so that it benefits all of us. So that's the thing that we have to understand. And whatever the reason for people coming over here, however they got here, whatever's going on, at the end of the day, the job of government is to protect the interests of the constituents and make sure that the money goes to the social services that will benefit us. The rest of it, that's a federal issue. There's certain things that are local. And I am not going to start fighting with a group of people because that's what they want me to do. I just want to make sure that that money that's in the city's budget, 20% of it doesn't go to 200,000 people. It goes to all of us. That's how we have to think about it. You know, and that's the reality. Is that it? We good?
Questions? Okay, see none. Thank you very much, Jonathan.
Yes.
Our next
Thank you
speaker
very much.
is Sepakis from Bronx City Council District, Republican.
Thank you. Thank you so much. First, I want to thank Daniel Mayor for inviting me here today at the Republican gathering here in Forest Hills. And I want to thank everybody for inviting me here today. It's an honor and a pleasure to meet everyone here. So, today, I'm officially running for the City Council. I'm representing District 11. I'm representing Riverdale, which also incorporates Riverdale, Kingsbridge, Woodlawn, Bedford Park, Wakefield, and Stylo. Just to give you a little bit of background about me, I had ran, this is my 5th election. Right now, I'm running again for my 5th time. I've lost 4 previous elections. The first time I ran was for state senator in 2006. I ran against Krishnan, just to give you my political endeavors. And then in 2009, I ran for the city council against Oliver Cabell. In 2010, I ran for state senator once again against Andrea Aspia. And then in 2022, 3 years ago, I ran for Congress against Richie Torres. And now, this year, in 2025, I'm facing Eric Dinowitz for the post. You know, there's been a lot of concerns what's been going on in the city, and there's been a lot of, I'm feeling a lot of outrage what's been happening. And one of the main things I'm really concerned about is defunding the police. Because that, to me, is one of the most important things. It's the vitality of the city. We have a lot of police officers walking the beat and taking care of, what's to be taken care of in terms of precluding crime, murders, rape, you name it, everything. The problem is that I've been noticing that the Democratic leaders, they really want to defund the police, especially our friend who wants to become the mayor of the city of New York. You know what I'm talking about. Notoriously wants to defund the police, and now he's backtracking and saying that, oh no, I didn't mean that, I meant I want to really fund the police. You can't backtrack, and you can't
retract your statement. You made what you made, you said what you said, that's it. The biggest concern right now is really about the policing. And right now, crime has been staggering up to 38%. And we have a very major shortage of policing. We have only 31,000 police officers that are on duty right now as we're speaking. And we used to have at least over 41,000 police officers, with 10,000 officers shy. And we need to replenish them and get back to implement a bill to furnish and to fund more policing, because we need it like ever before. And then as you can see, that we also had the illegal aliens that came into this country because of former President Biden's open policies to to come in from the borders, to come here freely without being vetted. And it's been really trying, because now that we have President Trump, he's doing a superb job in deporting all the illegal aliens that are coming in here, and they're also committing crime like never before. They even made the criminals look like kindergarten cops. That's how bad it is. But we need more policing to walk our beat, because without that, the city is in disarray. And I propose that if I'm a city councilman, I want to implement a bill to fund the police and to have 10,000 more cops additional added on to the group of cops that we have now, because right now we're at a shortage, and we need to have that implemented. And I don't see anybody really doing that. As a matter of fact, my opponent, he had sponsored 4 bills while I was a city councilman, and he also sponsored about 145 bills since he's been a councilman. But not one of those bills did he ever advocate for having more policing and funding for more policing that I could see. So honestly, imperatively, we need policing like there's never before. Because otherwise, if we don't have this, we're going to be in such a disarray with crime going up further, and it's going to be really out of control. It's out of control now, but we don't want it to go even further out of control. We need to have more funding, and we need to have more policing. And that's one of my platforms, that policing is one of the primary implementations that we need to have in the city of New York right now with this instance. Otherwise, we're going to be really in such turmoil like we have never saw anything like it before. Do we have any other questions, or anybody wants to ask me anything? Yes, sir.
So basically, you talk about like crime and like the big concern, lately. So like, also like there's like too much like street activity, but it's the worst thing, and like a lot of like small shops, but not just a small shop. Also the big shop, like joining like rioting, and spread the code down all over like that. So it's like the worst case scenario. That's like number one. Number two, there's like waiting to keep all the key radar fares again, to make sure that we're raised like another buck or so. And that's like how do we try them to hold them accountable for that, to make sure the whole solution. Number three, like another solution, like I said, there has to be like income inequality, like how to stop these cuts, like Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, where there be another target. So how do you hold the big three to make sure they have a big three and hold the leaders accountable?
Well, that's why you have to balance the budget. You have to balance it for the cops. You have to balance it for the Medicaid and Medicare. You have to balance it for anything that's in disarray at this point. There is money out there to be dispersed, but you have to equate the equation with each of these categories and not throw anything under the bus. Everything has to be equated. And we can't short it on anything right now because we do have the money to do it. The question is, who's implementing it? And the city council that you have right now, I don't see them doing that. And we need a major change. We need to have my slogan is, you need a renaissance, you need a new horizon, and you need a new frontier. And if you don't have those things right now, if you're going to keep bringing the Democratic incumbents back in, we're going to play the same old games over and over and over again. So that's why I say it's imperative that we get all the Republican candidates to be elected into office. As you can see, as far as I'm concerned, when the Republicans in power, you know things are, you know,
Right, and put common sense in the Bronx.
common sense, things are exactly, and things will be implemented. Case in point, you see what President Trump did. 7 months in office, he has implemented how many executive orders, how many things did he take care of within the 7 months he's been in office versus what former President Biden did in his 4 years. This is what we want down at City Hall. We need that kind of strength in numbers. We need to implement, we need to change the bylaws, we need to replenish, we need to square off things and get things to back where it is. As far as I'm concerned, our city's been held captive by incumbents too long. It's over. And it has to go. We need to replenish, we need to get back to square one. We had Rudolph Giuliani, who was our mayor. We had Governor Pataki, who's the greatest mayor that we have. And we also had a great senator named Alphonse DeMauro. Did we forget those people? And the city was in wonderful circumstances. We can do the same thing in the 21st century going forward in. And if we don't do that, if you bring the same old crowds back again, are you going to see any kind of changes or anything that's going to differentiate? You see, my uncle once says, it's not the word that's better, it's different. The question is, how do we differentiate? Not how do we make it better, but how do we differentiate all the things that have been going on in terms of the things that they're passing. And they're not really passing things that should be passing that's going to affect the city as a whole. They've, some bills, yes, but what about other bills? What about, first of all, what about the financial aid for people who want to go for higher education? I want to sponsor a bill that, why is that tap and Pell not being sponsored in higher education? Why is it that when you go to graduate school, everything has to be out of pocket, and that you have to pay for your tuition? If you have it in undergraduate school, why can't we have it in graduate school? So you have to think out of the box, and that's what a lot of the Republican people do in power, because they think out of the box, they reinvent the wheel, they're very creative in what they do, and very innovative. Case in point, you see what President Trump is doing. He's even policing Washington, D.C., as we're speaking, putting the National Guards and every police force to combat the crime that's been even more staggering, and even said it's even more worse than Chicago, than New York, and California put together. And yet he's getting flack for that. But we don't want that to be us as well, that's going to go skyrocketing. That's why we can't have the city held captive. We have to take a stance. We have to bring the Republicans back to the mainframe. And that's exactly what I'm here for today. I want to defeat Eric Dinowitz. We have to have solidarity. We have to have every Republican registered voter come out and vote. Because if the Democrats do support us, maybe far and few, but we need to pick up the slack with our party. Show them that we have numbers too. Show them it's not about demographics, and it's not about redistricting and gerrymandering. We can gerrymander too, because we have the people to come out and do so and try to defeat these incumbents. We don't want wokeism anymore. It's done. It doesn't correlate, it doesn't coincide to anything. It's a dead issue because their policies are just that, flat, and it doesn't add up to anything. So I say to all of you, it's very important, and it's to come out and vote and support the Republican candidates and get them into office. Show the media that we have strength in numbers too. It's not about the demographics of the Democrats. We can also be the demographics as well and show that kind of support and come out strength in numbers and show them that we have policies that you couldn't even think or even think out of the box. We come like the soldiers of war because we're not going to help the city held captive anymore, as I said. No more. We have to take a firm stance. Everybody has to participate. You have to come out and support. Otherwise, you're going to have the same more, policies and politics over and over again. It's a dead issue. It's over.
And that's the best way to take the truth seriously. You have radio. You have to put interviews on radio to make sure that you have to send the message. Make sure the voices should be serious.
Correct. Sure.
All right, so you want to have 10,000 more cops. that would put uniformed cop strength up to 41,000, which is more than it's ever been. What would you do with the additional personnel? Would you increase patrol? Would you increase detectives, which solve crime? Would you add to the quality of life enforcement, which I think is a good thing?
It is a good thing because, and to add on to that, you're absolutely correct. I want to see cops to walk the beat in almost, I mean, I don't want to, I can't say every single corner of the city because, you know, we have a big city, but we want to see police presence in at least in every stretch of the way, every few blocks, maybe every half a mile. We want to see cops present in every sector of the city, whether it's in Manhattan, the Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens, and Staten Island. We want to make sure that the criminals see that there's cops walking around, that they will be precluded from trying to pull any kind of crimes, and then we could try to bring the crime rate down, even maybe say 5 or 10, 50%, instead of having it up to 38%. Any other questions? If not, thank you very much, Mr. Gillan. Thank you, everybody. We have one more special speaker,
who is he's not yet registered Republican, okay? Martes, Pogozelski.
Physics are good and stay locally.
So, this is Marcus. I'm a father of 2 kids. I moved to Queens, and we're trying to make everything a better place. So we ran in District 30, unsuccessfully became in 2nd place, but ultimately, the biggest thing that everyone can do in this room is actually bring more people with you. Civics is where you're going to wind up learning about what's going on in the neighborhood. You got to try to find out your community boards, attend your community board meetings. The one thing that you're going to find as you go to these meetings is that it's a sounding board. It's the same issues over and over again. Thank you for running. It's a big, it's a big endeavor. It's a lot on your family. It's a lot on you. Rinaldi, the same thing, who runs every year. I want to thank Danny Mayo for hosting the civic. It's a lot of work that goes into hosting the civic. But if you know some more people that would come with you to these meetings, that's the most important thing that you can do, right, Isaiah? If you know a couple people that aren't like Republicans that actually campaign for Democrats in a race where it's controlled to the top, right? Like people like that. You bring other people as well that actually have the same points of view as you, and you bring them along. Like, where's Julian tonight? But ultimately, like, we do have problems. So the biggest problem we have is that we are built on a bottom-up government, and it's being run from the top down. We should be looking to the president to solve our issues. It should be our local council people, our state assembly people, knowing the chain of command, knowing where you can get resources. But ultimately, we can't only just rely on the government to handle our issues. We need to be more proactive ourselves. So that's a matter of just going to the park and picking up a bottle, or if you see someone doing something that's not positive for the neighbor, just making them understand, like, look, you can do something better with your life than throwing a glass bottle into a playground for a park and things like that. I think just the awareness of letting people know like what's going on around you. And I appreciate everyone that's out there putting themselves out there to run. And I look forward to more people bringing more of their friends. And ultimately, if you know someone that has the mind for it and the stomach for it, if you can motivate somebody to get involved, to actually run for an election, that would be the best thing that we could all receive. Because if you have candidates who are not controlled by the special interests, the lobbyists, and the overwhelming endorsements that are coming from the different unions, the PACs, and everyone else that has their hands in their pockets, you're not getting an elected official at that point. You're getting a lapdog for the establishment. Brandon knows about that. He's the one that has a lot of endorsements, has a lot of money coming in from special interests. So ultimately, that's the issues that are coming. You know, it's like you can't have these people that are going to hold the strings of these candidates once they get into office, and then you're just going to do it the same thing over again. It's more broken promises. So when you have a candidate out there that's actually running on the right motives and is looking to actually self-fund themselves and doing the right thing and putting their family out there and willing to do it, support that candidate, tell other people about it. They can be running Democrat or Republican, like whether you're conservative or independent. Most importantly, make sure that you're letting other people know and getting out there and letting your voice heard.
Who are you endorsing for the city council race in District 30?
In District 30, I think it's already been endorsed. It seems that our city council person has put both of his people in there, and it looks like one is going to have the leg up on the other one because one has an incriminating video that they haven't come public with yet, but I think that they're holding that against that person. So I'll be doing a write-in for City Council District 30.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Marcus is going to announce the winner of the 50-50 we're going to take the $25. And the winner is? Richard Murphy, you're the winner of the 50-50. And if you have Eric, you can give him the table in front of me. Right now it's 9:30, exactly 9:30, that's what we usually do. The motion to adjourn. Okay, that's Althea and Donald second. All in favor says aye.
I want to know about this video, bro.
Opposed? Meeting's adjourned, 9:31.
I would have put that all over the place. Is that it? Are we done? Yeah, we done. That was live. It's over. Yeah, you want to stop it?
No, thank you very much. I appreciate it, okay? I'm surprised the Brooklyn contingency, they said they come from the Dollar J Club. Apparently, the ones and they're late, but we're not going to wait.
Yeah, no, you know.
So,
I know you run your meetings right on time.
keep them at least, on time there.
But again, thank you very much.
Would you be interested in our next month meeting, the Secretary, even though it's a Republican reorganization focus, and I'm going to invite the Republican chairman, none of them unfortunately going to come, okay? But several opposition candidates are going to come, okay?
I know what you're talking about. I'll see. I don't know.
Yes, because September 18th, the third Thursday there, because the focus again is exactly what you're talking about. Let's focus on winning, let's focus on working with each other. But I'm trying to put the opposition and the group together somehow in the same room. Even though I invite everyone.
Yes, absolutely. I'm going to try.
I mean,
I'm going away the next day, but I might.
Randino's going to get emails from me, but therefore you can certainly tell me. I know.
Yeah.
He doesn't even respond to anything.
Don't take it personally. It really is. Nobody does take it personally.
So, I mean, that's what I mentioned to Chris Freeman. Do you want to go against it? Well, he doesn't have votes.
Chris Reed is alienated. So these guys do it all the time. I went at it with Chris Reed when on the show. How come Pat is the chairman and you're not, Gonzalo? And that whole thing. And the day before, Gonzalo told me